and sit on the couch and have a life for a minute. Enjoy the hard work we put in.
And we are live once again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to yet another live stream. This is going to be a short live stream where we're going to go out and we're going to take a look at a few things on the project cars, get you caught up to speed on something that's changed on Project Spirit. We're going to talk a little bit about that. This is not going to interfere with Sexy Saturday. What's going on, Daniel? Live. Well, Daniel 2K22. You changed name on me, threw me off. Hey, what's going on, Kevin Myers? Welcome to the live. Here in just a moment, we're going to go out. We're going to bring Project Spirit up. We're going to talk a little bit about the project cars today, and thought you guys might enjoy that a little bit. This will not interfere with tonight's makeup live stream. This is just something else that we're just kind of throwing in for funsies. And there's been a change in Project Spirit, and we wanted to talk a little bit about the change and get y'all caught up to speed with that. It did. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. And thought, again, maybe you guys would enjoy seeing something new in Project Spirit. Our old buddy Viable Solutions was like, dude, you ever gonna get to finishing this thing? You talked about this piece is going in. What's going on? Think different. So yeah, I thought it would be kind of funny to show you. Yeah, there's one more piece to the puzzle that's done. So we're gonna go out. We're gonna take a look see at it. Oh, you're wrenching right now. Project time. So I thought it would be. Again, this isn't going to mess with tonight's live stream. Just thought we would go live for a little bit, for probably about an hour, show off Project Spirit, then come back in, kind of chill out. I got a few more things I got to work on in here, and kind of get myself ready for tonight's live stream. So thought it would be kind of fun to do that. We're not going to be long, live super long today. This is just kind of getting... kind of figured y'all would want to see a few changes and see some old stuff that's out of Spirit and why it had to be changed. It's back to that thing. It looks cool, but there's a lot more when it comes to, function and things like that. So it looks good, but yeah. It looks good, and it's going to help Spirit all the way around just be 100% better than what she has been. Back to, if you're going to make improvements, make sure that it's going to also serve a purpose. And that's exactly what I'm going to be showing off today. And going to be given a special... That's awesome. So basically, we're going to chill out for probably about 7 more minutes, and then we're going to go out and we're going to talk about the project cars a little bit, and that whole thing that change is good for these cars. And as part of the whole thing that we're doing with Project Spirit is like one of the things that we're doing basically, with both cars, with both Project Spirit and Project Lena, we did kind of a voting kind of early on in this pandemic, and like, which is your favorite car. But what we're going to do is a voting for show towards the end of the summer. Which project car do you think has progressed the most? Which do you think is has a bigger cool factor and that sort of thing? And I'm going to basically ask that no one, choose, because this one's older, or this one's newer, or anything like that. Just overall, and we'll do a whole video explaining it, and then you guys will do a big voting on which one you thought turned out the best by the end of the year so far. So I think that's going to be really fun. So here just shortly, we're going to go down. We're going to take a look at the project cars, and we're going to start talking about what's also yet to come. Because we got some ideas. and might even show off a new tool that's going to help Project Spirit, because we are getting close to beginning the body work. We are very close. Basically, hey, I understand. I understand. It's good to see you, Ian. You're gonna. I was gonna say you might want to stick around because you'll get. Don't run off too quickly yet. I know you're mainly popping in, but you might want to pop back in here just shortly because you can see Project Spirit just got back from the shop this morning, and she has had some changes, and we're going to start talking about some of the changes that are going to be happening to both cars soon. Well, I'm glad you're here, Kevin. I'm glad you're here. Stick around. We're going to, hopefully, this will cheer you up. All right. So, well, since Gamerin's going to be popping out, let's go ahead and start heading down. We'll go ahead and start heading down. And I'm going to go ahead and jump up. And we're going to start moseying. All right. And of all the things, neighbors parking in the spot I was going to use.
I told you.
That'll be all right. It'll be all right. All righty. So we're going to come down and we're going to take a look-see and start going to look at Project Lena. We just took her to the car wash. Well, we took both cars to the car wash. And in the process, we kind of seen some things. You ornery ass. Oh, it's just slow motion car stuff. Yeah, cars are slow, and lube job jokes. Alrighty, here's Project Lena. This is after a good car washing. She looks a lot better, and looking good.
You want me to move her so you can park here?
Yeah, that would actually be a really good idea. And of course, those were a gift from Jam and John. Princess Faye took one of them out. I guess she wasn't feeling comfortable enough. It happens. But we ended up finding out that she's got a little bit of a spot right there, and she's got a few gouges. Got it cleaned up a little bit, so just needs a little TLC. Well, and in the process, we found, it's going to be a little bit more cleaning to do, but Ian's a huge fan of Lena.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he likes Lena over Spirit. So there you have it. That's Project Lena. Now, real quick, what I was talking to Princess Faye about is she wants to do some paint work on Lena. And if you look right here, how it kind of comes up like this. So I was telling her that it might be beneficial if we kind of tape everything off and paint like right around here, or maybe even just in this ridge up to there, and then back down to that ridge. Just paint that area to kind of highlight the spoiler, or in this case, the wing, and that would actually look really sharp. Now, what color? We're going to have to go decide on that. And we were also talking about up here, doing like this part here, doing that part and decking that out. They're going to want a good hard launch. Take her around the block, but get on her a little bit. There you go. Project Lena. Need to clean those wheels. They'll look good. Great acceleration. Great acceleration out of that little car. So here in just a moment, you guys will see Project Lena come back around. And yeah, she's a quick little car. Not bad for a little car. And most of the time, those Pontiacs like that are usually in really serious disrepair. Most of them are in really bad shape. Now, Project Lena does have a little bit of a tick to her to her to her lifters, but it's not that bad. So we can live with that. We can live with that, and she doesn't sound half bad. So pretty cool, pretty cool. She's in such great shape, considering most of the time those cars are in really bad shape. So Lena's Pontiac did have some pretty hefty. Here we go. There you have it.
Is that what you wanted?
Yes. Okay. Now,
But I like her.
you might want to hold it pretty much.
I got it. You're good.
My turn.
I've considered putting flames on her. No, he just wanted to chirp it. I think.
No, I wasn't going hardcore. Just wanted to.
I thought you were going to go around the block, so I thought
Nah.
you can have you back now.
All righty. Let's begin.
I'm gonna leave you to it.
A little bit of one, not much of one. Here we go. The brand new custom steering wheel. Check that out. This is that steering wheel that was courtesy of 3rd Gen 83. So this is the brand new steering wheel. What's going on, Harrison? This is the whole new steering wheel. And that looks amazing. And let me tell you that this thing locks tight now. Locks really tight. Looks a lot better, doesn't it? Here, we'll close the door a little bit so, yeah. You ornery cuss! Here. Now, one of my complaints with the old steering wheel is it didn't lock like it was supposed to, and that locks. That really locks. You are not moving that, okay? While she was at the shop, they went ahead and tightened up the steering wheel, just 1,000 times tighter. So now she handles even better than before, which leads me to believe that the drag link might be just fine. So we may not have to change a whole lot there. Yeah, she runs like a champ. You know, she's got it where it counts. So that is the new steering wheel. And let me tell you, this also feels nice. I mean, the grip on this is amazing. It feels good in the hands, you know. Easy, everybody. So there you have it. I mean, that is exactly what we needed, you know. It just feels good and feels like I'm really in control of the car. And, you know, it looks a lot better on there, just 1,000 times better. Obviously, we've got some cleaning to do, and this is just your normal wear and tear that you're going to get on these old cars, you know, from general use. And right up here, obviously, is still where the old stick shift used to go. So even though she's always been a manual, you used to shift her manually from up here. So that is still there. But all of the other issues, for the most part, have been taken care of. Even her horn works a lot better, too. And here in just a moment, doesn't it look good? It looks a lot better. I mean, just looks amazing, you know. And again, you know, it just, when turn it like that, I mean, you could just, I mean, it just, like I said, inside they even tightened up. Yeah, Spirit's a manual. That's her stick shift. Okay. Move that up out of the way a little bit. That's first gear, second gear, third gear. That's all you need. Reverse. So, Project Spirit is a stick shift. It does look amazing. And there's the panel that we did. You guys got to see us do that, work on that live. And that looks 1,000 times. You want an automatic? Oh, Harrison, let me tell you, stick shift's the way to go. When you want to get the performance to the pavement, believe it or not, this is the way to go. Now, while they were in there, they couldn't change this. This is the wrong part from Dorman. So I've got to take this part back, but when they made all the adjustments inside, the turn signal switch works better. So ironically enough, I didn't need to replace it. So we're okay internally. So it works just fine, other than when you go to make a right turn, you got to bump it back on your own. Other than that, I can live with that. So there's that. And again, locks into place just fine. It is not a crock pot. So there you have it. That looks a lot better. Now, I know you guys want to see what's left. Oh, my gosh. I hate that sound. Listen to that. That's annoying, isn't it? Remove the key and it's just fine. Here, Harrison, you'll like this. Okay, wheels unlocked. That's right. Okay, reach over. Put her up into neutral. Okay. Steering wheel's unlocked. Put the key into the ignition. I can let out on the clutch right now. All right. Now we've got it to the on position right there. Okay. That's Car's on, 2 keys, okay? That's what that button's for. That's to start the car. Sounds of the 70s. Yes, we are. We live give you an idea. Give you an idea. Right across the street. And if you look right up the road, we live out in the boonies, my friend. The boonies. Okay? See what I mean? So, because we live out in the middle of the boonies, we don't have to worry as much. There's not, people down here don't want to riot. They don't want to riot. They don't want that crap down here. The reason why they don't want that crap down here is because it's stupid. And so it's one of those things, if you're going to riot, you're probably going to have a bunch of rednecks with shotguns wanting you to behave yourself because you're going to tear up their town. And, you know, we work hard for what we got. So you don't have to worry about that down here. So we're pretty safe. A lot of good, you know, a lot of good country bumpkins. Plays my ponytail. That's funny. Alrighty. So let's come over here. You guys are going to get a kick out of this. Here is, drag out the old steering wheel. You guys are going to laugh about this. Try not to laugh too hard. But when I say this is what's left of Project Spirit's steering wheel, I'm not kidding. You like that, huh? Here, give it a second. This is Project Spirit's old steering wheel. What's left of it. That was basically it went on like that, and underneath there was the horn button. Right? That was how she looked. And underneath there was the horn button, but you could see where the problems were starting to begin. And it was all broke apart in there. That was part of the strip for the horn button. And just old cheap plastic. And on top of that, some of the old screws and crap. That was it. Just complete nightmare in there. And this is her old steering wheel, what's left of it. Now this can be refurbished. Right? And that's, I mean, you could see it. That when he started opening it up, these parts just literally broke apart from age alone. And then imagine, probably. But yeah, this is her original wheel, what's left of it. And that's it. I mean, other than the steering wheel cover, which try to do this one-handed here. I will not be able to, so we'll just do it like this. And give you guys an idea, we'll peel this off. Because underneath that cover is a whole lot. It would be interesting. That would be kind of cool. But this is a steering wheel out of the 70s. And you can see all the cracks beginning to form here, right over here, things like that. Just just broke up and just no good, no good. And this is just more crap still falling out of it. And this is what I had to do car shows with, okay? Now, so, well, oh, so now that we've talked about that, you could really see just, how much of an improvement this is here compared to what we had. Now, we are probably going to put this steering wheel cover back on to protect it because when I'm at work, my hands will get real oily and everything. And no matter how much you wash them, it takes several days, it takes, several washings throughout the day to get your hands fully clean because, I work around, oils and greases at work. So my hands just collect it. So then imagine coming out here and touching this. So we're probably going to reuse this to protect this wheel. I'll send you the Spirit's old steering wheel. You can chew on that one. This one is very nice. Like I said, it feels good in the hands. It's just built a lot sturdier. The plastic is not cheap plastic, and the horn button does work. Yes, the McDonald's magic oil. Yeah, you cannot get that stuff off of you. Forget it. Oh, here you go. That sounds better. Well, for car shows, we'll take the cover off, but to protect it from getting damaged or getting oily and nasty, we'll put the cover on to protect it. Because honestly and truthfully, I mean, this is a very nice steering wheel, very nice. And I would just hate for anything to happen to it. So again, now the steering column, other than, touch up paint and things like that, just making it look better. This steering wheel column is like 1,000 times more functional than it was. You guys, I know, can appreciate that. Sticks on here. Right. So, definitely to just protect it. And you can actually see where no matter how much I clean that wheel cover, you can actually see where the dirt and the nastiness is getting in just from my job. And there's really nothing you can do about that. This is kind of the nature of the beast on, when you have a classic car and things like that, just no matter how hard you try. So we're probably going to, just for protecting the steering wheel, we'll put that on there. Now, this steering wheel is actually slightly smaller in diameter. It's got a little bit of heft to it, but it's still a little bit lighter than the old one. The old one, just because it was bigger and made of a cheaper but yet denser plastic, this is just all around better. We're talking metal frame that's just sturdier. I mean, just 1,000 times better. And I know it sounds like I'm going on and on about a steering wheel, but you guys got to remember, this helps control the car. So this means that Spirit's now a little bit safer. And one of the things I do love about these old cars, when it comes to steering wheels, it has two functions. Two functions. That's it. Driving the car and a horn. It doesn't need to do anything else other than drive the car and honk the horn. Okay? Which even to me, this is not important. I don't know why cars need them. So in that regard, it doesn't need to, engage anything else. Oh yeah. 1,000 times smoother. I mean, she handles like a dream. Just 1,000 times better. It's just, this car handles like a dream. I mean, you'd be amazed. I mean, once we have a little bit more done to the front and rear of the suspension, I could probably conduct an orchestra with this car. That is not a joke. And the steering wheel just really tightened it up. I thought there was going to be all sorts. Nope. She handles like a dream. Oh, and the update. There you go. Getting closer to that 300,000 marker. Once that turns over, that'll be 300,000 all original miles. We're getting close. So we're getting close. Here in the near future, we will be getting ready to begin the body work. I talked about that. Yeah, shuts like a car. And Princess Faye has asked me to kind of change gears, if you will, of all the things. She's asked me to change gears, and we're going to start right up here. And this whole fender will have to come off, and this piece will be straightened, and this will have to be fixed. Any rust that's in behind the bezel will have to be done. I'm going to get an old Ooga horn. And this will have to be fixed, and any rust in behind here will have to be fixed. And we're going to have to get the replacement marker light, and then it's on down this side of the car. Well, we're going to do the fenders first. And any dents will have to be pounded out, smoothed out with body putty. And then once that is all taken care of, we'll get down in here, and it's starting to bubble up there. I was worried about that. And we'll get all the body lines readjusted because it doesn't quite match like it's supposed to right there. So we'll have to kind of pull that in a little bit when the panel goes back on. But it'll be prime painted and all that other stuff. We're going to definitely clean around here. I can just about guarantee there's going to be rust underneath here, very typical spot. And we'll get all that out. We're going to have to remove the chrome strip and redo the hood too while we're at it. And once all that's done... Oh, you did? Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to have to take a look at it now. I have to take a look at that. But you guys get the general idea. We're going to... Yes, we have. We do have another project coming up, but it's not going to be a car. We do have another project. One of the problems... Here, let's go sit down in spirit, and I'm going to tell you guys something here. Here we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, real quick. One of the problems where we live is there's a lot of drunks and a lot of people who do a lot of drugs. And a lot of these people lose their driver's license real easy. So because of that, a lot of people get stuck having to ride bicycles. I might do that once. Or twice. Actually, I always, as a kid, hearing the old Ooga horn on a car, I always thought that was so cool. And so far, I'm going to tell y'all, so far, Project Spirit has things that I have always wanted to have in a car. Even though there's a couple of those things that are going to be going away, I've got to enjoy them. So, first thing we're going to say, I always wanted a car that had a custom steering wheel. I now have that. I always wanted a custom steering wheel in a classic car, and say that I've had one, So now I've got one. That's kind of been on my bucket list, I guess you could say. So now I can scratch that off. I always wanted a car that had a stick shift. I've got that. Project Spirit has a 3-speed manual transmission, or 3-speed standard as we used to call it. A lot of y'all don't realize there used to be a time that standard meant manual transmission. So Project Spirit has a 3-speed standard transmission. We're going to talk about that in a moment. So now that I've talked about that, she's got the standard transmission. I always wanted a car that was kind of a conversation piece, something you don't see every day, but had a cool factor all its own. The Mavericks. Manuals do deserve more love. Most people in here in the US do not drive manual because, number one, I will be honest with you, if you do a lot of in-town driving, they are impractical because of the stop and go traffic. And I will tell you, when I get out of work after, about a 9-hour shift, because that's not uncommon, I'll work a 9-hour shift these days, 5 days a week. When you come out and you have to jump into Project Spirit and you take off and you're driving stick and you're just trying to get to the highway, you're sitting there wishing you had an automatic at that point. Not a joke. Like, good God, I wish I had an automatic at this point. But the other problem is that you have a lot of people that want the instant gratification. They don't want to have to learn how to drive stick. Automatics are easier. There's so much. No. Instant gratification doesn't necessarily mean it's better. It's convenient, but there are times if you're going to be doing a lot of highway driving or you live out in the sticks, manuals are nice. You can get on a back road and just kind of cruise and get up to your, the gear that you need and just go. Now, I will say, because of the fading away of manual transmissions, right. I will tell you all right now, when it comes to safety, manual transmissions are safer than automatics. And here's why. Because if you're driving stick, you're not goofing around playing on a cell phone. You're paying attention to the road. Project Spirit does not get stuck in the snow. Project Lena, a little bit, because she sits low. She's low slung for, she was made that way from the factory. Project Spirit, on the other hand, does not have many problems. If you got good tires on the back, she'll go anywhere you want to go. You just got to watch her speed. She's got leaf springs, and leaf springs get a little bit of bounce to them, and the back end will kick out real easy. That actually happened to me this past winter, where I hit some black ice, and when I did, there's nothing wrong with automatics, nothing wrong with them. But for young people, young people will get into to a car that has an automatic, and they'll start goofing around, playing on their cell phones, and that's one of the reasons why the accident level is so high these days with young people. Because they're not paying attention to the road, and if they had a standard transmission, they're less likely to have that happen. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I insisted that Princess Faye learn how to drive stick, so she wouldn't have that problem. But I will tell you, ironically enough, she has expressed that she prefers to drive Spirit when she was a 3 on the tree. They can if you're not careful. They can. But Spirit will go anywhere, a new car. Right. As a matter of fact, I tell people, if I'm driving, I won't answer the phone. I'm sorry. I will not answer the phone. It's dangerous that way. That's one of the reasons why I'm looking at Bluetooth technology to kind of have in Project Spirit, so I don't have that problem. Now, the other thing that Spirit has that I always wanted to have a chance to mess with was the Ford inline sixes. And I've always been told the Ford inline sixes were amazing engines. I can't argue with that. I've enjoyed working on her, on her inline six. Yes, the 3-speed standard transmission is going to be going away for a C4 automatic custom built, because it's easy to get parts for, and right. Missouri, it depends. We have a lot of humidity issues. And, because of the humidity and everything, oh, no problem. But yeah, these cars can go, if you drive them sensibly, they'll do anything They'll do anything you want them to do, but you have to drive them sensibly. But Project Spirit, and I always wanted a car that had a manual transmission. I got that. And I wanted to have a car that had an inline six. I always wanted to work on one, always wanted to tinker with one. I got to do that. Those two things will be going away on Spirit. We are going to be looking at a V8 swap for the simple reason that it is so hard to get parts for an inline six. They're kind of a thing of the past. It does have its own cool factor, but we're going to definitely try to stick to things that would have been era appropriate with that Ford V8 when we go to put one in. We're going to stay with what was era appropriate. Now, the standard transmission, we're also going to do a lot of the same there as well, but with a B&M shift improvement kit, her shifter, so it'll still be era appropriate. So in that regard, anything custom that we do, we try to keep it era appropriate. A lot of guys would have also went over to a 4-speed standard transmission. Nothing wrong with a 4-speed, but the manual does. Princess Faye can drive it, but she doesn't like to drive it. It's one of those things. She feels more comfortable just jumping in, throwing it into automatic and just go. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. You're back to that, where do you live sort of thing. If you live in a major metropolitan area, yeah, I definitely recommend an automatic because of the stop and go traffic. You'll wear your leg out, But if you're like me, once you get onto the highway, just go. You got your manual, just throw it up in gear. It's fine. If you live in the backwoods, manuals are great. So in that regard, so initially I wanted to start towards the back of Project Spirit and work my way to the front with the body work. Princess Faye has, I guess you could say, agreed with our dear friend 3rd Gen 83 and wants me to start at the front my way back, which I'm like, I already started back there. She's like, it doesn't matter. Go up to the front. And so we're going to do that. Chewing on my door now, huh? So in that regard, Princess Faye has set the tone. We also have what is known as, basically, we got an electric paint sprayer that comes with nozzles that will spray automotive paint. So we're set to even do our own paint job on Project Spirit, which it is a DIY channel. It makes sense. And we're going to find the best possible way to do it so it looks professional, but it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. And we're going to walk you guys through that process. We're also going to do the body work, but we're going to be starting up front instead of where I initially wanted to start, which was in the tail end, and then work our way up front. Princess Faye wants to start at the front and work our way back. So that basically means we'll do the fenders, so we could do the headlight bezels, and get in behind all of that, clean that up real good, and then just begin working our way back. So 3rd Gen, you win. Because he thought that we should start up, because she wants to get the new headlights, the LED headlights mounted. And I've showed those in a few live streams. But the outer rings of those LEDs light up blue. So when I turn on the headlights, they light up blue. And you still got the regular headlight as usual. So it's going to look really cool. And then basically we're going to work our way back, clean everything up, and fix all the, the metal, all the rust, and that will be taken care of. So that's kind of it. All right. And since 3rd Gen is in here, we got to do it again. That amazing steering wheel. That looks so much nicer. Now, to give you all a quick heads up, I am going to have to, because of my job, put the steering wheel cover back on this wheel to protect it for car shows. Because if not, this thing's going to get nasty with oil and grease and from my job, because it doesn't matter how much I wash my hands, it takes several more washings even after work. So to protect it, we're definitely going to have to, I'm going to have to put the steering wheel cover back on. It looks great in here. I just cannot get over. And I always wanted to have a car that had a steering wheel a lot like this. And now I have that, so I can mark that off of my bucket list. And I always wanted to have one that had a standard transmission. I can mark that off my bucket list. Having a car that had a inline six, I can mark that off my bucket list. I've done, we've done all sorts of cool stuff with Project Spirit. And, again, it's just, this car has its very own cool factor. I always wanted one with its own starter button set up like this. I always wanted something like this, and now I got it. This is really awesome. Basically, everything that I could ever want in a cool car, I've got. I've got that now, and I'm enjoying it. Unfortunately, again, this did not go in like it was supposed to, but while they were at the shop, they got the turn signal switch straightened out anyway. So evidently the original one is still holding up, so we're not going to worry right now. So there is that. So yeah, big cool factor. Again, Princess Faye's amazing artwork. I love that. And so all of the major issues that were going on with inside the steering column for Project Spirit, all of the major issues are now fixed. So that has all been tightened up. She just does 1,000 times better. She handles like a dream. The next thing we got to get one of the next things that also has to be repaired is the emergency brake cable, which that's there. That's what that is. So, it's coming along. Again, there's nothing wrong with automatics. I do enjoy having a stick shift, in the car. And it's just something about it. I don't know what it is. Just something about it that feels good, And here, hang on here. Oh, why is that important? That is annoying. That driving you nuts yet? When they worked on this in the shop, here you go. That just sounds better. Still got a little bit of play down there in the drag link, but here. It really locks into place. They got that dang thing tight. So it's like 1,000 times better. So there you have it. Now, to answer the question, we do have another project where I live. Oh, my pleasure, Kevin. This is, again, this is Project Spirit. The Prince Magnum channel is the house that Project Spirit built. There are a great deal, many of you out there that turned on to the Prince Magnum channel because of Project Spirit. There's a lot of you that did. And the reason why, because it's not a Mustang. It's not, it's not your typical car that, you find out of the Ford genre. It's a Maverick. And the Mavericks have their own cool factor because it's not what it's not the Galaxy. It's not the Fairlane. It's not, the Falcon. Not that there's anything wrong with those. But if you go to a car show, what is the one Ford you're going to see the most of? You're going to see Mustangs. So a lot of people, not that there's anything wrong with the Mustang, but a lot of people want something different. They're tired of seeing the same thing. They want to see something different. Yeah, they're going to look really cool. So Princess Faye has already said we're starting up front and working our way back. So that's where we got to begin first. So because of the fact that, we're talking about, that it's different. And then on top of that, you also got the whole thing where, with Project Spirit, it's still a family-oriented car. A lot of people where I live has started switching over to extended cab and four-door trucks and SUVs and crossovers. They want to have their truck, but they want When it comes time for the V8, yes. Um, I'm probably going to go ahead and do old school and go with some thrush turbo mufflers. I like my turbos. The reason why is that was an era appropriate, for around the time when Spirit would have been new enough to like what we would do today. And I want to again keep that era appropriate hot rodding thing going. It's still nice. It's still, a really cool car. So that is what we're looking at doing. Now there's probably going to be some more modern kind of touches to it, but not as much as you'd think. We're going to try to keep it as era appropriate as possible just because sometimes I think we can get so modern we forget where the project really should be. So, you know, now that we have gotten all of the issues fixed with with the steering column, you know, we had to get the linkage off the column because the turn the key switch off of the column. One, for the purposes of anti-theft. Number two, uh, and a big one because there was a lot of pieces in there that were no longer functioning like they were supposed to, and it's kind of getting harder and harder to find the honk the horn. Okay, sounds better than it used to, actually, believe it or not. Okay, we're going to paint her a dark blue, and it's going to be a dark blue metallic. What shade or what particular name we're not 100% sure on. We just know it's going to be a dark blue, and we're going to be looking at either a light blue or a silver pinstriping, and that's really going to set her off. And she's going to look real good, and by the way, at the shop that I have this done, our friends over at Torque Diesel and Auto here in Bonne Terre did. I know, honey. Yep, I know. Thank you, baby. But basically, our friends at Torque Diesel and Auto did this for a very reasonable price. It cost us $60 to have this done. That is cheap, and it's good work. It's quality work. Well, I'm sorry, Chairman. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't worry. You're gonna. That's her paint is actually the Ford light blue, which we used to make fun of and call robin egg blue. And there's a whole thing that we'll have to talk about sometime. That's one of the reasons why her color has to change. That color used to be if you had a four-door color painted in the color of Project Spirit, believe it or not, um, that was often called grandma's car. Believe it or not, this used to be a grandma's car. Bought it from its original family, and the original member of the family that bought Project Spirit when she was brand new was a little old grandma who used to toodle around with her grandkids in the back of the car. Not a joke. So it's going to be done in a dark blue with silver pinstriping, kind of probably along the same lines of what it is now. And for the record, the pinstriping that's on here now it's not factory. Princess Faye did that. Princess Faye put the pinstriping on her. So now to get to the project that we'll be doing, kind of throughout the summer, we're going to do a bike project, a bicycle project. The reason why we're doing a bicycle project is one, they're cheap to do. And number two, where I live, a lot of people lose their driver's license for drinking and driving or getting caught with drugs and everything. Yeah, I got to get under there and unplug that. But there's a lot of people that, you know, that they lose their driver's license because they're kind of, they haven't learned that, the police don't like it when you're out, boozing and drinking, and being behind the wheel. So they lose their driver's license, and the only mode of transportation is a bicycle. Oh, I would almost wonder if the original family seen this car, if they would recognize her, if they would be like, once we get more done, I'm thinking I might try to track down her original family. I was in contact with the original family for a long time. Well, for a short period of time after we got her. But when they figured out that I figured out how to fix all the problems, honk the horn. Okay, there you go. So we are going to do a bicycle project, and kind of for the people that are, there's people that drugs and alcohol took their life away, and now they're trying to piece it back together. So we figured it might be to our benefit to go ahead and do a bicycle project because I got to get into shape, and riding a bike will do that. And Princess Faye wants to go bike riding. Right? I often wonder if they would recognize the old girl, um, by now, because this old car has come a long ways. Man, I mean, the things we're doing to this car is essentially making my dream car. All the things. It didn't start off as my dream car, it just started off as something as a cool project, and now it's turning into my dream car, I guess you can say, which is really cool. And to, again, third gen 83 sending me this steering wheel. I mean, I always wanted to do, to have something like this in a car. And, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It helps me control the car. And, it's simple. It looks good. I mean, it looks amazing in here. And always wanted something like this in a car that I was building. And now I have it. And it is really, really cool. I don't know if you all know how much this means to me, you know, and I've been tinkering with them forever, and you never have, it's like I never have the money to have, what I exactly want in it, and I got to do it piece by piece and that sort of thing. And now we're at that stage where things are starting to happen, and I don't know if you guys realize how important this is to me, and the fact that I have this now, it's huge, huge. And I know to some people, well, it's just the steering. You don't understand. When you've always wanted to build that really awesome, cool car, and you scrape and try to get it all together. Right, right. You know, now I've got this one. One more piece to the puzzle. You know, I basically she did start off as my dream car, but she's slowly becoming, and that is really awesome. I don't know if it's one of those things that beep beep. I see you loaded another Crocs world there, Ian. I'm gonna be excited to see it. I'm gonna be excited to see it. But no, so Project Spirit is coming right along, and again, I don't know if you all fully understand that. I mean, I'm sitting right next to so much of the things that I have always wanted to work on or to have in a car. It's just right. 41 years old, and I'm oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, she's got Project Spirit already has a turbo. She actually has a brushed turbo muffler and gives her a nice sound, and she does move along pretty good with it. You know, Basically, again, I'm doing all the things to this car that I've always wanted to do. And that is really awesome. That is really, really awesome. So, I mean, you guys get to go along with the ride on me in this, and just the fact that, she's coming right along. I mean, that is really awesome to me. So we got our sprayer to begin. So when it comes time to paint, we can do that. A buddy's going to bring over a welder, and we're going to look at that. I just got to get a heavy duty gauge electrical cord to reach it, and we're going to move them down at the end, begin working. We won't be able to live stream that, I'm afraid. Just too much going on there, but we will definitely make videos of anything that we do, and you guys will still get to see the progress happening. So there you have it. Yep, Hornworks got all this cool stuff in here, and even though I know third gen, I know you didn't necessarily the wasn't exactly initially what you were looking for in the steering wheel. It does match the stick, the stick shift knob that's going to be back on here, the knob for my stick shift that we're going to be putting back in here once Princess Faye does her artwork to it. And it matches that, it matches my, ignition panel. So good job, man. I mean, you picked out a perfect steering wheel for it. Unfortunately, we are still going to have, because of my job, we're still going to have to use this to protect it. It'll get nasty, you know. It's just one of those things. I got to protect it. You didn't. Right? Kind of right there with you. So she's coming along. But I do need to wind down this particular stream. Again, because later on we're going to be live again later. We're going to be doing the makeup live stream here in a little while, at about 7:00. But I just wanted y'all to come out, come with me so you could see what's being changed and how she looks. And we gave Project Spirit a nice bath today, and she looks 1,000 times better. And in the process of that, I've seen where more rust is coming up. So we're going to definitely have to get onto this and get her straightened out. Otherwise, she's going to rust away to nothing. And then, I'll be driving. It'll look like, something out of the Flintstones or something like that. No good. So, it's coming right along. Right? So you guys get to see, you guys are actually watching, if you will, you're watching me, myself and Princess Faye and the shops that we use, like Torque Diesel and Auto right over here in town. They did the work to the steering column. They've done a lot of work. They did the ignition panel, wired it in for me, and all I had to do was just, take it out and finish it up. They've done a lot of work to the Spirit. They've made adjustments to the clutch linkage for me. Gosh. They got, made it where I can remove the exhaust manifold. Appreciate you coming in, Kevin. Appreciate it. I'm getting ready to shut it down from here, and then I got to go upstairs and kind of chill out and take care of a couple things around the apartment, and we'll be live again later on. So, appreciate y'all being here with me. You guys are awesome. So we're going to step out and we're going to end it proper because, got to see that wheel. There you go. All righty. Again, thank you all for being here with me. You guys are awesome. You guys are the Maverick Nation. Every last one of you are amazing. And that brings us to the spot where I get to say, get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is, just do something with yourself. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet, do something special for them today. And as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.